you. No, Anne, I don't do the college Vita thing where I take 10 minutes doing everything people are going to do. She's a wonderfully gifted poet. She's had a chapbook. She's been in a number of anthologies and publications. Maybe as she's reading, she might mention some of them if they happen to, what she's reading happens to be in that. But I like the poetry to speak for itself. She's going to be accompanied by her good friend, okay? Her good friend, and he's going to play acoustic guitar.
Lance Roper.
Thank you. I was going, what's his first name? What's his first name? Yes, because they have a Roper Lab at Purdue, where I'm from. So, you know, I had the last name down. But this is going to be Lance Roper accompanying our friend, the poet, Anne Humphries.
Thank you all for coming. Lance and I have collaborated on a song. He's part of a duet through our church and plays around different clubs. And we thought we would give this a go. So it's first for both of us. This first set will be 5 poems. I have 2 others in the second set. First 2 poems are about an eclipse, but each about an eclipse. And I'll introduce the second 3 when we get there. This first poem I won an award as an emerging artist through Jasper magazine for this poem, which I won last year, and it seems to be a favorite, so we're going to start with his favorite, and the others are new. All right, the poem is titled An Eclipse and a Butcher. Howard Bryce had a soft spot for my mother. He'd plug wedges in watermelons for my family to taste. He'd drawl, no good, no sale. Bryce's Mercantile was one of only 2 grocery stores in the county seat, population 397 in that remote Texas hill country. Saturdays, my mother, whom people said was more beautiful than Jacqueline Kennedy, piled 4 of us into a 58 station wagon, no seatbelts, no air conditioning, to drive 13 miles past sheep and goats, summer camps, and tourist cabins to the tiny market on the courthouse square. When we pulled in, we kids tumbled out and raced through the screen door. Not yet 10, I had been entrusted to order our usual 3 pounds of hamburger. When I approached the lighted case, Mr. Bryce sang out, "How is Miss Anne today?" We talked about the great white Pyrenees puppy he had given us. Raw red meat squirmed from his grinder. I watched as he swept the pink, quivering pile to weigh on a silver scale, wrap it in white paper, and flourish the price with a black wax pen. He told me to take care as he slid the bulging package across the counter. I thanked him as I had been taught, then joined my mother with our little brother in her overflowing buggy and found my sisters at the candy counter. At checkout, we asked Mr. Bryce for cardboard boxes for pinhole projectors, and that was July 20, 1963. On our way out the door, we passed San Antonio papers, which headlined the President and Mrs. Kennedy's pending trip to Dallas. But on that day, in a gravel lot of a small town's grocer, a family turned its back to the sky to watch the moon slide across the sun. Thank you very much. Al, how do you want to please? Thank you so much.
You just continue with your reading.
All right. This next poem was written in honor of the eclipse this time last year, about exactly this time. It's been 2 days. And my husband Kirk and I joined some friends to watch it from the high point in Sesqui State Park. This is called A Portrait in Bronze of the Eclipse. We had not expected metallic light, palpable as coins. We bunched like tourists in our solar glasses, opened our arms to it beseeching, as if we could catch the color like drops of rain, or hold a robin with both hands. But the light would not be contained. It cast sepia shadows crisp as pencil lines that rippled over our shoes and across the sand. And then the air softened like night. Peach clouds rouged the horizon, and then was gone, marking our brows like ashes for Lent. Okay. The next three poems are about aging. The first one is called My Mother's End-of-Life Directives. Both parents are still living in New Braunfels, Texas. It's My Mother's End-of-Life Directives. My mother's always said she wants to outlast her teeth, has told us that for years, says she prefers to precede her descendants as if declaring so would make it true. Says she could bear if anything were to happen to my siblings and me. We were middle-aged, you know. But if anything were to happen to the next generation, our children or their children, would devastate her as much as my father's malignancies. The first when we were so young, and the second, teenagers. After the second surgery, she sobbed, "Why you? Why you? Why not me?" He rasped, his chest tube draining. Lately, she says all she prays for is a quick, quiet death. But if it's lengthy, she says, we'll deal with it. She complains that the new neighbors called her elderly. I tell her she is beautiful. The next one is after the shed my father built after many wheelbarrow trips in the backyard. And it's called The Garden Shed. Good? Not what it used to be, this garden shed that leans like an old man on a cane, that shelters rusted rakes and broken bricks, tired of waiting for purpose. Spiders drape a forgiveness with their homespun thread across tiny handprints, signed and dated. Born of salvaged lumber left on the street, it took shape in the backyard. Its latches held shutters from framed openings, smoothed for small hands. A Dutch door hung from a quartet of hinges to divide top from bottom, for children to ponder, should we make it a ship or a tunnel? Still, spiders rain from paper cathedrals, no longer fearful of poison from nozzles. Last weekend, the children returned, older now, to patch the leaky roof, oil the hinges, sweep away wasps and webs, give bricks new purpose, not as an ordinary walkway to the back door, but maybe a gangplank or a path to a secret garden. And this next poem is inspired by my friend from Shepherd Center at a party by John and Sheila Montez were there, and it was a picnic. And as we're getting older, it comes up what we can and don't want to do anymore. And she said, Debbie doesn't do that anymore. So I titled the poem that. And it is a form, but quaternary, so you'll hear a repeated line. And that's intentional. I like to play with forms. It helps contain me. All right, this one's called Debbie Doesn't Do That Anymore. Debbie does not do that anymore. Drive 95 to Jacksonville, nor fuss with lipstick when gloss works fine, nor suffer our yard or old house with predatory power bills. Debbie doesn't do that anymore. Nor rush in misguided frenzy, nor say yes when she means no, no. Nor seek spotlights, lets them find her, nor miss the fun because of chores. Debbie doesn't do that anymore. Nor apologize for more than her share, nor spare a compliment, live hostage to anxiety, or hold what cannot be held. Nope, Debbie doesn't do that anymore. Thank you.